Hello and welcome to Home vs. House. I'm Lisa, and this is a channel where I share budget-friendly home decor and lifestyle ideas. Guys, I am back with another video, a walkthrough of my backyard kitchen garden. I'm also going to show some updates, just rearrangements as well. And guys, I am going to share some struggles that I am having. And so if you're a gardener and you have some tips, maybe you've gone through some of those same struggles and you have some tips for me, please go ahead and drop it down in the comment section. I am ever learning, and so I appreciate you being a part of my learning journey. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, I ask that you go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. All right, guys, let's get started on this walkthrough. So this is the entrance to my garden space. I did this DIY project. In fact, most of the things in this garden, the structures and just partitions and so forth, are DIY projects that I've done back here. And so I love to come out here and just kind of see my handiwork. So as we enter this archway or this entrance, you will see two hanging baskets, one on each side, and I just stuck some annuals in these, and they were on clearance, and so I wanted a pop of color, and the basket is filling out quite nicely with that pop of color. I also deadhead these quite a bit to encourage more blooms. Also, I have hanging just some garden decor that I've picked up throughout the years. These are my collections, and they were some thrifted, some clearance item. Down here, I added some hostas on either side of the entryway. I'm not sure that this is a good spot for the hostas. It does get some sun here. At one point I was thinking of putting up like a covering up here, and I still may do that. I'm just looking for the best material to do that. But I have it here in the meantime just to see what will happen. And then I added some more garden ornaments in between. All right, guys, let's keep going. Up here, I just added some wall sconces on either end with some citronella candle. So that's what that looks like. And then, guys, this is my first garden room. I love this area because it doesn't matter how hot it is out here. This is always a cool spot. I did go ahead and update it with some new cushions. So I got these from Aldi's, also on clearance a few days ago. And so I've swapped out what I had here before for these, and they work really nice. They're very comfortable. And then I just moved the ones that I took out from here up on my backyard, or on my back porch, and also my front porch. So it still is getting some use. I went ahead and brought back out my metal book holder because, again, this is an area that I sit, read, write, and as well as reflect. So I thought I needed that out here, or I actually do need it out here. Over here, I showed on last video, I'm adding some greenery to this space. So I got some geraniums, as well as some zinnias. On last video, I had transplanted the hosta and the autumn fern out here, and then in between, I'm filling out the space with some creeping jenny that I bought up from up front, my front garden. Guys, over here, so I did stick a remnant of a halabera or halabora plant in this pot when I dug it up from another area. Wasn't sure it's going to come back. I am seeing some, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I am seeing some life. So I didn't want to fill up this pot with other plants just yet. I'm going to give it some time to see if the halabora comes back. In this corner here, I still have to fill it up with some more mulch, and I don't know if I showed it on the last video, this piece of wood right here, this block of wood, I picked this up last year from the Habitat for Humanity restore, and I recently cemented it down to the ground. This is going to be a nice like cup holder, drink holder here. So I finally decided I'm gonna give it some permanence in this space. All right, let's keep walking. This is my parsley patch. So I have harvested this quite a bit for my cooking. I love to use fresh herbs in my cooking, and the spring and summer gives me an opportunity to do that. This small raised bed here, I have cabbage growing here, some green onions, as well as some sage. I have dill over here, and then some rosemary. Yeah, I believe, yeah, this is rosemary. Guys, my cabbage, it's struggling. So the rabbits are not getting to it, but the butterflies are still getting in through this chicken wire. So I think the holes are just a little bit bigger to be able to let in the butterflies. So not sure what I'm gonna do about it, but that is a struggle right here. Also, I had a second marigold, and something got to it. I suspect it was the rabbits. Guys, that's another struggle that I'm having in this area. I have lots of rabbits. They're getting through the garden fence. They're baby rabbits particularly. I had gotten another tip from, beside the chicken wires, I had gotten another tip from another gardener to use coyote urine. I did order some last week, and it came in. I used it some, and I haven't seen the rabbits in this area. The struggle I'm having with that is I have a dog, and all my neighbors around me have dogs, and they let their dogs out in the backyard. And I was reading after I purchased it that because it's a mark of the urine is usually a mark of predators, the dogs get really anxious, and so they're barking quite a bit. They're a little bit clingy. So rather than having the having the coyote urine along the perimeter of my garden, I added it along the perimeter of my garden beds instead, to keep it a little closer. And I'm just monitoring things. When I put it down, usually my dog is barking quite a bit, but that subsides some. So again, I want to keep my garden, but I don't want to add any extra stress or trauma to my dog as well as my neighbor dog. So that's a struggle of mine that I am keeping an eye on. Guys, in this garden bed, this is probably my healthiest bed. Although I can see how the rabbits have gotten to it. The marigolds, I need to deadhead it, but they've also been eaten. But my greens are still alive. I have some kale here, some collard greens. I recently added these two tomato plants that I transplanted from another area. I'll show you where I moved it from. I have green beans or green peas trellising up this pieces of metal on both sides, and then I have green onions in here as well that I've been harvesting quite a bit, and then guys, some patches of lettuce seeds that I had set down here weeks ago. So again, this garden is probably my healthiest. Over here, my elderberry is coming up quite nicely, and then I did go ahead and add this garden ornament here. This is a solar light that I picked up from Aldi's recently as well. I did have two blueberry plants here, and then two in other areas. I uprooted those and I transplanted it in a more sunnier spot, because this lilac bush, while this area gets some sun, the lilac bush provides shade, and I thought maybe it was too shady. My geranium basket, I deadheaded this a little bit ago, and I see some new blooms coming up. All right guys, we're gonna keep going up this way. My strawberry basket, this is one that is thriving quite a bit. I've harvested a few strawberries here. I am competing with the birds, guys, so every day I come out here and I look to see, like, so for example, this one right here, and I'm gonna keep looking at it. There's one also at the end, and I'm trying to get them before the birds get them. So there's definitely a competition. Down here, I added some clover seeds to this area. I had some sedum struggling to grow here over the past few years, and I'm trying something different, and I added some clover seeds. So let's see. I see some signs that they're popping up, so I'm happy about that. And then this stepper situation here, I did some work on it this past weekend. I think I shared last video that I was gonna leave it here for a little bit because I hadn't decided I wanted it here. Well, since then I've decided to have it here, so I'm doing some work to kind of have it here permanently, right? And so I might end up getting some little pebbles or some sand to put in between. I also added some clover seeds here as well, guys, and I have an update of the patches that I shared on last video where I added clover seeds. So I'm super excited to share that. So here in these two cinder blocks is where I added the strawberry. I moved not strawberry, but the blueberry plants. I thought they might do better out here. I had peppers here, and then I just moved the peppers on this side. What else? I still want to move this butterfly bush to a different area. I just don't know what area I'm going to move it just yet. There's another blueberry plant, and then I also picked up some more cabbage that was on clearance from my local garden center, and I add one down here. These two tomatoes, I want to move them, but not sure about that yet. Over here, my yarrow is doing really well. It gets a lot of sun in this area here, and it thrives on that. Let's see, this garden bed, I had replaced some of the vegetables that were eaten by the rabbits. So I added some broccoli here, kale as well here, and then I had some garlic chives growing from before. So let's see how that goes. I also transplanted 2 of the broccolis on this end here from another space in this garden. So we'll see how this is, how this bed will transform over the next few days. I'm expecting some rain here today, starting today. So I love to be out here when I've just watered the garden or when it just rained, because things look a lot more luscious and alive. Guys, so this is my struggle area here. So when it rains heavily, this is the area that I get water runoff. So the water pools here and it runs off. I've tried to do different things here, but recently somebody had suggested a kind of a retainer wall. So I got some cement from my local hardware store, and I dug some holes to get a little deeper, and I was trying to build a retainer wall, and so I didn't mess with the back, the larger cinder blocks, but the ones up front here, the smaller ones, these right here, I dug down, like I said, and poured some cement down in there, and I cemented them down to the ground, and then I added some cement in between here to create kind of like a semi retainer wall. So with this next batch of heavy rain that's gonna come out, I want to see how if that helped any. So we'll see. Another blueberry plant over here, a cabbage, and then my cucumber is doing really well there. My chamomile is spreading out quite a bit as well. There's another strawberry basket that it was struggling in another area. It was too shaded. This is a partial shaded, so I may have to move it again, but for now it's here. I see some blooms on my foxgloves that I transplanted over here. I had some on the other side and it got washed out by the heavy rain, and I salvaged this one plant. It is self-seeding, so I'm hoping that it will self-seed. But guys, over here, look at this area. So this is one of the areas that I had put down some clover seeds, and look, let me get a little closer. Look at what is happening. The seeds have germinated and they are coming up. I still see some areas that I need to fill in and make it a little thicker, but I did stop by the garden store recently and got some more seeds. So I'm really pleased with this area and what has been happening. It brought joy to my heart to see that the seeds have germinated. Let's see if I can slide through here. All right, my honeysuckle, it is blooming, not blooming, but it is thriving. It's spreading out quite nicely. There are a little bit of bloom right here. I need to go ahead and, so these pieces that has spiked up, I need to go ahead and train it to come alongside the rest of the garden fence, but that's some work to come here. This is an idea that I had. So this metal piece I've had for a little bit. I picked it up thrifting. I had some sedum growing at one point in it in another area, and I recently put it here and I took some sedum from another area and I stuck it in here. Not sure it's gonna stay here yet, but it's just an idea, guys. And with the layers that I've added to this space to help the water runoff. I think it did help this last time. I had less water runoff in this area, so I'm happy about that. I have some tomato plants, some eggplants, some herbs growing here. I harvest a tomato from this plant on yesterday, and there's another one on this plant here that it's turning a little red. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time, and I usually pick it before it gets really red. Again, I'm trying to compete with the birds, and then I just bring it on the inside and just lay it out in a woven basket for a couple of days and let it finish getting ripe. All right, let's keep going. In this patch, the peppers are coming along quite nicely, as well as excuse me, as well as my herbs are spreading. Guys, this was a self-seeding plant that I stuck here last year, and I have gotten some really pretty blooms in this pot right here. So I want to spend some time chatting a little bit. So I have this weed growing, guys, and I used to pick up this weed, pull it out year after year, but I recently learned from another gardener that this has some some medicinal purpose as a tea, and so I'm letting this patch continue to grow in this pot. So we'll see. Over here, some more clover seeds thriving, and then I'm still working on this area, guys. This is a second garden room, and so I'm still working here. My daylilies, I think they all have been blooming, so I'm getting some nice golden blooms. The hostas that I transplanted here, not hostas, hydrangeas that I transplanted here, there's one of them, and I think this is a better spot for it. It's a partially sunny spot. There's the other one. Some more daylilies. This garden bed here, I did some transplants, so I got some more kale that I have here. And my Chinese cabbage, they're still getting eaten, and I think it's the butterflies, but we'll see. Some more struggles. Butterflies and rabbits are my struggles this season. So I did take out the cabbage and the broccoli that was left by the rabbits. I took them out and I showed you where I transplanted it. I also added, I've harvested this lettuce patch quite a bit, and I added these two red lettuce plants recently. Some more daylilies that's blooming. And guys, here I recently moved this trellis and this clematis plant because where I had it before, I think it was too sunny, and so I moved it over here to see if it'll revive some. Over here is another clover patch, and again, look how they are coming up. This is a thicker patch from the first one, but I still see some areas where I'm probably gonna throw down some more seeds to thicken it up a bit. Let's see. Over here, my boxwood, so they were doing really good. I've had them here for a little bit, for a few years, and we had some late frosts or some surprise frosts, and they got damaged, but they're coming back up. These two hanging baskets, they're filling out quite nicely. And then over here, guys, my cilantro is doing really, really good. These plants alongside here are doing well. Also, my Japanese spirea sedum, I believe this is a sunflower volunteer plant that's here, and it's doing well. My morning glory that I planted from seeds is trellising up this trellis, so I'm happy about that. This daisy is coming back. It's about to bloom here pretty soon. My sedum is spreading out. Guys, I'm overall happy with some of the progress that's been made here, and the struggle continues with some pollinators, as well as just lots and lots of rabbits. So again, if you have any tip for me, please, I'm begging at this time, just share it with me, and I would love to learn about what else I can do for the space. All right, well, I am going to go ahead and end this video here. So thank you for sticking with me this far. Again, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. Leave a comment, like, and share this video, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.